Good morning, everyone. Leslie Myrick here, interior designer and business coach with Nancy Quinn. We get to be here with the fantastic Kim Vanderpool of Fresh Impact Social Media today. And I love this title, Kim. It made me laugh. Insta-Glam for designers, not just Instagram. And really, how to turn your Instagram into a client magnet, into a platform that actually gets leads in the door. So I am dying to hear about this because my Instagram's more for brand building. I wouldn't say mine is incredibly highly converting. So I would love to hear your perspective on making Instagram a client magnet.
Okay, well, congratulations. You got the first step of the process done. Sometimes we just have to do it, and brand recognition is where we always recommend starting.
Yeah.
However, sometimes we get into that mentality that if we build it, they will come, like Field of Dreams. And it doesn't always happen that way when it comes to client. Like interior designers have gorgeous feeds. But if all you're getting is compliments and not client inquiries, then that's what's missing. And hopefully today we're going to hopefully help maybe just give you some things to think about and some practical action steps that you can take to go ahead and make it into something that is more client attracting. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to attract with purpose. So we want to make our profile work for you. So your bio, make sure you have a nice picture of yourself. A lot of times we're tempted to put our logos for company brand recognition, which is great if you have a big company. But if you are the primary principal designer, still doing your photo is what we would recommend, and using that same photo across all platforms. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, because then it's building brand recognition. If you have a picture of yourself on Instagram looking like you are sitting at the desk, and then if you're on LinkedIn and it's more of a suit and formal attire and something else, people don't have that disconnect, and that doesn't help build that trust. So we want to use that same image across all platforms. And then think of your bios, your descriptions as storefront windows. So people decide right away if you're the right fit for them. So when you're writing your description, either on Instagram, Facebook, or even your LinkedIn headline, we want to know, who are you going to help? What do you do? And what transformation do you offer? I love it if you said, I'm Leslie and you have 2 children, mama, 2 kids, puppy mama, whatever, but that's not going to make me hire you. As much as that.
You said that because I was like, wait, am I doing this wrong, Kim? I do not have mom of 2 and
no, that's not going to, if you have a personal Instagram, then that's when you can do it. But if you're looking and using Instagram as a tool to grow your business, then you need to approach it as a tool. And what does it, always think about it, what's in it for them. It's not what's it about me, it's what's in it for them. Can they see themselves in my bio and how I can help them? That I transform homes for midlife couples. They could see that if they're in the middle life situation. So, and then include a call to action, whether it's book a discovery call, visit my project files. Tell them what you want them to do when you're in your bio. So a lot of times we'll send people right to your homepage on your website, but consider sending them maybe to your contact page or maybe to your services page, so then they can at least know a little bit about you more and what you offer them. Because I don't know if you've gone to websites before. You'll go to the website and you'll get lost. What am I supposed to do? I don't even know where to go. And so if we tell them more what we want to do and give them that right link, then that is kind of a key to maybe help. And then on Instagram, they give you that ability to go ahead and pin your post. So everybody should pin their first top 3 posts that showcase either your process, client results, or personal connection to your work. And that way, so a lot of times we recommend doing a meet Leslie, I'm this blah, blah, blah. And do that like every 8 weeks, because you get new people in your feed all the time. And so that would be a great one. An about post would be a great one to pin. And then maybe if you have one of your pet projects that you love, pinning that. And then maybe, how do you work with us? What is it like to work with us? And showcasing that process. So pinning those.
I like that. So people are jumping to your profile, they're newer. You're making it really easy for them right at the top of your feed of, let's get to know you and what you do and how you can help quickly. And then of course they can scroll and see the pretty things, but this
Right.
is a boom, boom, boom.
Right. Because, time is precious, and we want to screen people out. Like, we're not every designer is perfect for every client. And so you're doing them an advantage and benefit, and but that doesn't mean that they won't refer you to somebody else either. So that's why we wanted to do that. Cause I was like, well, maybe there's a chance. No, we've all been there. We've all done that. So, and then we want to, after the bio is all done, we want to post with intention. So what do we share that draws in clients? And again, we're going to focus in on that know, like, and trust, because that is what is the most important. So we can have all the beautiful pictures in the world, but if we don't build that know, like, and trust, it's kind of just wasting our time.
Yeah.
So with no, it's talking about visibility. So we could do project reveals, reels with trending autos or design tips, or sharing a day in the life of a designer. So those would be all things that they could help develop that no factor.
Yeah.
Like is when we build that connection. And so that would be sharing your personality or your point of view. And a point of view can sometimes stick with you. When I first started working with interior designers, there was a designer that we were working with, and she goes, why would anybody paint all white walls? Like, how vanilla? Let's add a little strawberries and sprinkles. And that has stuck with me. That was her point of view. So that was a connection that, 7 years later, I still have that connection with her because of that comment. So not, share your point of view in a kind way. Sometimes we've got to temper that. Behind the scenes moments, and then what inspires your work. So that can really build a connection. So if you get inspired by camping with your family, or going to botanical gardens, or going to art galleries, showcasing that and sharing that, because you're going to connect with someone else that also likes to go to art galleries or also loves flowers, and you're going to build that connection. And so that kind of takes that hello to being more of a friend type.
I love that you say that, Kim, because we hear a lot in the Profit Insiders Academy, designers struggling to know what to post. And often the suggestion we give is like, give them a peek into your life. What books are you reading? What podcasts? What are you doing on the weekends? Where are you walking your dog? Do you have 7 cats? Like, people want to know who you are outside of your beautiful finished room portfolio. And that, of course, is important. But I love that you're saying that, of like, you post a photo of a book you're reading and suddenly someone hires you because they love that author. Like, there's ways that people will start to like you and be like, that person gets me. They know me. They're so much like me.
Right.
I'm going to reach out to her now to hire. I wasn't sure, but I think she's the right fit.
Yeah. Especially, and when you're sharing those photos, I had a picture of me and my poodle on the website. We actually got hired because someone had a poodle.
Yeah.
Built that connection. Like, if you're a poodle lover, So don't underestimate just sharing that. And those are like good weekend posts, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just giving a little glimpse of who you are. And so they can build that connection.
Yeah.
And then the next part is trust. And that's where we build that credibility. And so the way we do that is showcase your client testimonials. I was just doing an audit for somebody. They had beautiful testimonials on their website, but there was not one testimonial on their socials. And it's like, if I never go to your website, I won't have that credibility. So testimonials are really a great way to show that credibility. How we work post. So every designer works different. So you could create a carousel post on what your process is, and how, from the discovery call, this is the next step, this is the next step, or do you not know if questions about working with the designer? This is what it likes, benefits of working with a designer versus trying to DIY. So those are different kinds. And then FAQs. So keep track of the questions people, when they come to you, what are they asking? We like to just put it on just like a Google sheet and just keep track of all those questions, or put them in notes on your phone or something. And that way, when you sit down to do your content, you already have your database ready to start. And so those all build that credibility. And so when you're creating captions, when you're showcasing these posts, is making sure that we keep in mind the client transformation. Like, how did you solve a problem or a challenge in someone's home? Not just about your talent, because we care, but we don't.
They don't care. They want to know, what can you do for me? Like,
I
want this. How can you help? Like, what are you going to do?
I want to know that my kitchen's going to be a nice hub for my family to leave in the mornings, and that it's functional.
Yeah.
I don't care how you do it. That's what you want. So that feeling that you're going to transform. And then one of the things that I see 95% of us not do like we're supposed to is engage like a pro. When we engage on Instagram, that is where we build those relationships. And so many of us post and ghost. We post and then it's like, nobody's coming to us. Well, they don't have a reason. They don't know you. They haven't met you. And so when you go ahead and start engaging, you're building that conversation. And you can do that by commenting on people's posts, like your ideal client commenting on their post, or where your ideal client hangs out. Again, if your clients tend to like art museums, find the local art museum's Instagram's page and then start commenting on their posts. And then your name's going to come top of mind.
Yeah.
They need to see your name. When I first started 10 years ago, it was like 7 or 8 times and you built that trust. Now it's like 60.
Yeah, I've heard it 7. I mean, the numbers are all
50, 70. Yeah,
it's gone up exponentially. This is not just like a couple more nudges. Like we are so bombarded with input all day long that in order to get through that noise, you have to be there over and over and over and over and over and over again to get through.
Correct. And that goes to saying, like, if you're building just brand awareness, posting once or twice a week, you can get by with that. If you want to get clients, you're going to have to post more than that. You're going to have to post 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week and using stories and reels. So there's a whole different tactic to it. So you want to make sure that you're covering that and knowing what your goals are instead of just wasting time on social media, which we all can do. So.
I think that's such a great point because I know I mentioned earlier that social media for me, Instagram specifically, is mostly brand building, but I post twice a week. I mean, that's strategic. I don't feel like for my particular niche that I'm going to get great jobs on Instagram, but it's crucial for connecting with potential clients, for building that relationship. But I'm glad you said that, Kim, because I think we hear so many different conflicting bits of advice on Instagram, but I mean, what you just said in a nutshell is you want to get clients, you've got to post nearly daily.
Correct. And you have to engage and use the platform for what it's meant. It is a tool and it's like any tool in our toolbox. I mean, you have to use the hammer to put in a nail. You wouldn't do the hammer to put in a screw. So using it the correct way. And then ways to build that engagement is if you're using stories, use the story stickers. And then, doing polls or quizzes, or do you like this color versus this color? We're just trying to decide for a client's bathroom walls or whatever, wallpaper. Those are all good things to do to make engagement questions. And then when you're writing captions, make sure that you have a purpose with those captions. So starting with a strong hook, and then your little caption, and then giving them a call to action. So many people are like, well, nobody's commenting. Well, did you give them anything to comment about?
Yes. You got to hand it to them. Like people are not going to just go out of their way to leave a comment. But if you're, like I said, if you're asking a question, you're posting something that is maybe slightly polarizing or a decision to make, love to chime in for those kind of things.
Right. An example would be is if you made, I think they're called like gallery walls or photo gallery walls. You could do that and talk about it, but then just say, do you have a photo gallery wall, or would you like this in your home? And that gives people a great yes or no question. It's not a big thinker. And that will help increase that engagement. And then you can respond back, and then you can take that conversation a little bit further. Yep. So one tip for that is if you want to take it to that next level where you really want the Instagram to be more glam and bring clients in, is spending 10 minutes a day engaging before and after you post. That's kind of the if you're going to post at noon, try getting on 5 minutes before you post and engage, and then 5 minutes after you.
So that matters. I'm guessing the timing is very specific because you want to start having people check out your profile. A new post goes live, more people come there. It gets Right. I've never thought about the timing of engagement before. That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So it doesn't, everyone's always like, well, what's the best time of day to post? Anytime that you get it done.
And anytime you can be on live to engage around it. Okay.
Or think about when your ideal client is, locally, if you're a designer and you're attracting busy families, you would want to post on Saturday mornings when moms are at the soccer field and they're scrolling through social media while their kids practice. So thinking about when your client is on is a good thing to do. So one tip to just walk away is that Instagram, your feed will look good, but we want to also make it work for you. And so by making it work for you is building that know, like, and trust. making sure that you do the captions and writing the captions the correct way to help. Just like look at your captions, like what would I do with that? Can I do anything with that post? And then just changing and making those small tweaks.
And small tweaks. This is the long game. This isn't do one post and hope it goes viral and transform your business. Right. This is showing up day after day after day after day after day.
Yes. And month after month after month. Yep. Yes, definitely.
But it's worth it. I have gotten some great jobs from Instagram, and I hear a lot of designers do and a lot don't. So I think if you're not getting it, go back to the beginning, watch this. There's some great insight.
Yeah. And then asking yourself questions and why you don't, or maybe having someone else look at your Instagram feed and it's like, you know what, I'm not getting clients. What could I be doing differently? Mm-hmm. It's well worth spending 15-30 minutes with somebody that can take a look at it objectively and say, this is what I would try, and then keep trying it. Like, it's not everything works for everybody. And we have clients that do get projects, but the biggest thing even for you is like, if you have a feed that is aesthetically beautiful and you're attracting and talking to that audience, that when someone comes and checks you out, then they're going to see like, yes, that's the person for me.
Yep. I love it. Kim, thank you. This is great advice. If you need social media help, Kim is your girl. She's at freshimpactsocialmedia.com. A lot of this you can do on your own, but I know, Kim, you were great at guiding people with your Get It Done Club and helping them get over the hurdle of just figuring out how to do this. So don't struggle with social, because it's a gold mine out there. People are on Instagram. They're scrolling. They want to hire you. So reach out to Kim, and we will see you back next month for some more social media tips. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.